Today, over 1 billion children in the world live in poverty. At Help Heal Humanity, our goal is to connect children in need with people like you who want to make a difference. Our student sponsorship program helps provide children with the necessities for a healthy and successful start to life. When you sponsor a student, you're not only giving them the gift of education, you're giving them the best chance for a brighter future. 100% of your donation supports the tuition fees, uniforms, textbook, and school supplies needed to thrive in a safe and healthy learning environment. Sponsor a student now and be the catalyst for their brighter future.
Life is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been showing that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a chemo buddy for life.
We are a buddies network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are chemo buddies for life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
Happy Friday. This is Barbara J. Beckley with the Coaches Lounge. Welcome. I am so delighted. You know, every Friday I get pumped up because I get a chance. Yes, I'm going to calm myself down. I get a chance to talk to some wonderful, amazing, spectacular coaches, consultants, and educators in the world. I have to say, because this particular this particular person I have that's coming on, he is in a different continent. And I'm like, yes, that makes my show global. I love it, love it, love it. I always love when I can bring individuals, not just within the US, but all over the world, because believe me, if you don't do that, if you don't become global in whatever platform you are missing out. I'm telling you that right now. Yes, I'm putting my foot down. And you really need to make sure that you are reaching and getting to know and building relationships around the world. It's not just the United States. We're not our own little entity here. It's more than that. And you learn and you grow. I'm telling you, you grow and you meet some fabulous people that will put and instill and even instill skills and talents and everything that you probably didn't even imagine. So just a little tidbit there. I just want to let you know about, making sure that you go global in whatever area you are, business or personal. Doesn't matter, both. But I just want to say, going back, because like I said, being global, this is where we get a chance to meet people that are doing, the same type of different kind of coaching. Like you all know that I bring on different coaches from all different, whatever they do, from, education coaches to life coaches to stylist coaches to maybe they got food allergy coaches. I don't know whatever kind of coach they have. I try to bring them on because one of the things I always tell people is in your life, everyone, here I go again, giving you another tip, should have a coach, should have somebody behind you or beside you or even in front of you sometime to help you get to where you're trying to go, your goals, your mission, what you're trying to accomplish. Don't be a lone ranger, as I always tell people. Always make sure that you have individuals around you that's helping you and believe in you. And that's the biggest thing. Always believe in you and where you go. In which coaches, they don't get a love like they should. They really don't. We do, because I'm a coach too, and I get it. We do what we have to do, and we love what we do. Let's not put that to the side. But what happens is we get to the side because we're always trying to push our clients or try to push the people we really believe in. And then, we're just kind of, we're just there cheering them. And a lot of people are like, oh, they're wonderful, they're awesome. But they don't understand that there was a little tidbit of a person pushing them and telling them some things. And sometimes they'll get that spotlight. So this is where I give the coaches the spotlight. This is where you get to hear their stories. This is where you see that they're the lighthouse of the world. So with that said, we have a wonderful, usually when I have women come on, I call them queens because I look at everybody as royalty because, I said I always believe in people and who they are. And you got to say it in the mirror all the time. Well, today I have a king. Oh my God. And I think is from Europe. And I just want to make sure, but I'm going to let him really introduce himself. But just to give you just to open the curtain just a little bit to this king, he is a courageous coach. Now, when I read his title, I was like, now that's interesting. I like that. So he builds your business on your own terms in partnerships where intuitive meets strategies. Your business is built to last. So basically, as you can see, he's a person that's working with businesses to get them to the next level, to make sure that they are investing in themselves and they're believing in them, right? Now, I'm saying it really just like normal, but no, it's a lot of detail with this particular king, what he's doing for businesses. But before then, we're going to just start the show. And as soon as we come back after this clip, we'll be right back with this wonderful, wonderful king, wonderful, wonderful coach. And get your pen. Okay, get your pen and get your paper out because you're going to have to take notes. See you soon. Hello. Welcome.
Hello, Queen Barbara.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
Thank you for the audience.
You caught on, sir. You caught on. So, okay, before we even start, first I want to thank you for being on the show. This is a gem for me. I really appreciate you coming on the Coaches Lounge. So from, like I said, from a different continent, right? And
Yes.
also because I did not want to mess up your wonderful kingdom's name. Can you say your whole name for us?
Yes. My name is Igor
Igor. Okay.
Vilusic.
Oh, okay. Okay. Igor. Okay. King Igor. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Now we got the full name here. So, Mr. King, first I just want to just ask you, because the first thing I always want to say is we like to get like a little background of our coaches, because we know you just didn't become this brilliant, this, like I said, a lighthouse of the world, helping others, helping businesses, just when you were born, when you just came to be a baby. So it took something happened between that and then now, just a little bit. So give us a little taste of that.
All right. So I am from another continent. I am based in Europe, and I was born actually in ex-Yugoslavia, in the little country Bosnia and Herzegovina. Right now, I live in Germany. This is where I lived for 8 years, and I've lived all over Europe. I've moved multiple times. I would say the reason why I am in the business of helping people is because I had faced some hardships by myself. A long time ago, when I was growing up, like during the 90s, there was a civil war in my country. And then we went, as refugees to Germany, came back, seek the asylum in another one, move countries. So all of that made me, while I was growing up, I didn't quite understand what was happening. So I then started to questioning, why is this happening? So I faced sort of, the mirror to myself. And this is how I then started to explore all kinds of things that I wanted to make meaning, I wanted to understand. And that, while working on myself, on what has happened, healing the wounds and understanding where do you belong, you don't belong no one, you don't have a home country, everything has changed, family has changed, you've moved so many times that you don't know, like, where is my home? Yes. And the home needed to be recreated. And throughout that whole, as the life goes up and down, it doesn't go always, just like building business. People think like, I'm going to build the business and everything is straight and easily, it will go and it will be beautiful. It will not.
No, yeah, they need to stay there just a little bit longer. They'll know that it's not going to be that straight.
and courage is what always brought me back. A, not giving up on myself. B, not giving up on my dream, even though I wasn't sure what it is. Because sometimes we want to have like, I need to have everything crystal clear planned out. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we have a hunch, we have a desire in our heart, in our gut, in our mind. Trust that. And my personal, message is you need your own courage. You need the courage in order to keep going, keep figuring out solutions and ways, or anything that is sort of presented itself as a barrier. Often we are our own biggest barrier.
Yes.
And
you're on our own way.
Through that, what you've mentioned, like connecting with different people from all over the world, I think this is, brilliant. So many people want to say so many negative things about, the world that we live in. But the possibilities that we have is how we choose what we're going to do with this. So let's say you have chosen to create a show. To, in this time of age, you can create your own show. I mean, just think about it. It isn't that far
Yes.
Like the possibility of that is
The opportunities, yes.
beautiful. Or connecting with other people from all over the world, using the internet, using for I say the connection, understanding other people more, seeing different perspectives. It grows you as a human. It grows your understanding. You just have a broader perspective about life, of what it contains, what it is. The world is so beautiful, it's so big, and this is, an opportunity that I always like to highlight, because people also, like with social media, they don't like the social networks. I've met so many great friends, colleagues,
Yeah.
business adventures through social media.
Yeah.
Because I had the opportunity to talk to them, or they had the opportunity to hear me. So, my if I have a message, is the message to use what you have for what you want. To look for the things that will bring you forward, bring you peace, bring help you create something, support yourself or somebody else, and lean into that.
Yes. Oh, so wonderfully put, King. I was just thinking about all of the things that you were saying about what you went through. You moved everywhere, and what I like what people do is when the situation that you're in, because I know with the war and everything that you were talking about when you were growing up, and then now you're here now and you had to make a decision. We take what's going on. That's I call them hurricanes and earthquakes of life, and then you can make that choice.
Yeah.
You can tell yourself, okay, well, I'll go the earthquake way and just let it all just tear everything up in my life. Or I'll say, you know what? I'm going to take this storm and change and move a different direction, because I know there's something better. I believe, like you said, you believe there's something better. And that's what you did. And I have to give you so much kudos for that, because it's important that you did that. And now you can show others, you can help others do the same thing in what you do and what your lane of genius that you do. So I want to talk a little bit about that, going into that, because I know there's 2 tips that, as you being this amazing coach for people, as you take courage, you say courage to success and then courage to be you.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about courage to be you first? Because I know that has to come first before we even think about any kind of success.
Yeah. So often we are, let's say, we are here and now. We are worried about the future, about something. I cannot do this. Let's say Barbara has a TV show. I could never speak. We we might have that, or we have a fear about something that has happened. We've tried speaking and somebody said something like, oh my God. We keep a certain story. We basically tell ourselves a story. And the courage to be you is, like, I'm going to use like a couple of modalities that I do in help in order to break that story, because you need the courage in order to face yourself. Sometimes it's not easy to face ourselves, but what we think, what we believe is like, I don't want to be wrong, I want to be right. But sometimes we are not, and what I also say, our intuition is lying so much to us, because the intuition is laced with certain conditions of how we grew up, what was shown to us, what we've learned. And all of that, sort of just like a layer upon layer upon layer upon something. So like the core, the true essence of the intuition cannot be even accessed, because we are reacting from that story, from the hurt. So for that part of the Courage to Be You program, I use hypnotherapy. So I use a different type of modality within, let's say coaching is mostly conscious. It has, unconscious parts, but it also has, but this one goes a layer deeper, and it is looking at certain aspects of our past, what we think are our limitations. Because my thing is like, who are you, to coach people in English? I don't know. I had that desire, and I needed to overcome it within myself, not with other
Wow.
people. Other people wouldn't stop me. Other people saying like, English is funny, English is great, but in my head, I had a story.
Yes.
And we need the courage, that persistence to not give up on our dreams, because so easily we want to give up. We have tried it once. It's like, no, I cannot do this, Barbara. This is so hard.
Yeah.
When have you made that decision?
Yeah. Yeah. It's so easy just to say, well, no, that's okay. Like you said, you could have said a long time ago, well, the English language, no, forget it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, forget it. And then other people in your ear, see, that's another thing. You can self-sabotage yourself, and you can let others sabotage you too, and be like, no, King, you shouldn't be doing that. And it's like,
Yes.
oh, maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like, sometimes we want to be, we want to be positive, and I like the positive aspect, but sort of like where the courage comes in, sometimes the courage is there to assist us when we are wrong, when we doubt, so it's just like, oh, everything will be fine. No, it will be difficult. There are things that you need to overcome. There are things that you need to learn. There are certain lessons to be learned, but it's so worth it, of staying, of continuing, and believing that this path is the path that you want to walk.
Yes. Ooh, that is. Oh, we have some wonderful guests popping in here. One of my best friends, and she's we work together to his partnerships. Her name is Luana Bradford. She say sometimes we have to get out of our own way and decide to not give up on our dreams.
Exactly.
Yes. Oh, and then she gives some love from her. She said she loves that you bring the concept of courage. Life is not always a beaded of bed of roses.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have thorns.
I was thinking the same thing. As soon as I heard the roses, you were just in the same one. Sometimes there's a lot of thorns coming up before you see any kind of rose or any kind of flower at that.
Yes.
But even with that, you still got to make, a choice. It's always like you said, it always goes back to making that choice in your life. And I like how you use. I'm just like my good friend Luana said, with courage. And you got to start with yourself first. I have a platform where I call it PPD, your purpose, passion, drive, where I always tell people you need to have that foundation. That's according to Barbara. Let's just say that. According to Barbara Beckley.
Barbara, excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to make sure that you understand that. So with that, you have to have the courage to believe in it, as you're just going to what you're saying. So it all comes together. It really all comes together. Yeah. So now when your clients, I was going to say before we get, because now we're going right into courage to build success, because I know that's your other tip that you want to share. So with your clients, when they come to you and you see you establish, okay, their courage and who they are, they believe in themselves, they made that choice, they're moving forward, they're not letting the small little talks in their ear. Then what's the next level that you teach them for the success part?
The next level, like why I teach it like that is because we want to get, first of all, we want to understand where you are coming from, or where your mind, heart, gut, is coming from. Sometimes it just wants to protect us. It just wants to be, hey, Barbara, there is something that I'm afraid of. There is something that I want you to be aware of. And that is fine. But we don't want to make, a decision coming from that place. Let's say when I was 14 years old, I don't want now to make a decision as my 14-year-old self, because I have life experience. I've learned so many things. I've overcome so many things. My skill set grew. I want to make decisions as the current version of me, not as that, teenager that was afraid of something that was happening. So that's why, like, cleaning out these, stories, and then deciding, what do you want to do now? What does success look for you now? Where do you want it to go? And based on that, let's then create a blueprint, a tailor-made program for you, because not everybody wants to execute the business how everybody is executing it. We're all seeing different strategies, But as we are all unique, it doesn't work for everyone. So it's like incorporating into whatever the strategy is, how you want to lead the business is crucial. Because if we're doing like, we're doing it just for the sake of doing it, we will not be able to sustain it. It will not be able. We can go a certain round, sometimes years, but at the end of it, you will hate your business. And that's not the purpose of creating your business, especially when you have the option to start and to build it. Create the foundation that you want.
Yes. Ooh, you dropping some golden nuggets, King. I'm loving that, especially when you say create what you want. And if you're not happy, own that and say, you know what, maybe I need to change something. Maybe I need to tweak something, or maybe this is not even something I should be doing.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm just going to go back because I want to really just pin back just a little bit of going back to where you've been traveling around the world. And I always tell people, make sure that you are able to do something that you can go outside of your box. I mean, you have went in a whole up different places, and you've been, from each place, I know you have learned something, you grew, you built skills, you meeting people. And I feel like we all need to experience something like that in our lives so we can really make the choice and be courage with it, have courage with it to make that choice in your life to say, okay, I did what I needed to do. I looked in different areas, and now this is what I feel comfortable in.
Yes. Yeah. It shapes you. It shapes your view differently of the world, of different cultures, of other people. On one side, we think, everybody is into like individualizing everything, let's say, in today's kind of world. We are unique yet same at the same time. Because although we are different, although we have, let's say, different opinions, different ways of how we say something, how we view something, there is so much common ground within us. So it's like, wait a minute. So you see the world like this, and I see the world like that. So it doesn't have to be a problem, right? So we think, you need to be, if you have a different opinion than me, you are not on my side. Sort of like as an enemy or ally. And exploring the world, seeing the world, it just cracks your, worldview open. You're like, wait a minute.
And then I think it goes back to what you're teaching everybody about. Okay, it basically gets you out of that box that, like I always call it, some people put themselves in that box. Get you out of the box, and then really you can make a better decision when you are trying to, be yourself and create that success in your business. So I think it gives you even a bigger view of saying, oh, wait a minute, I don't have to be here. I don't have to stay in Wisconsin. This is where I'm at. I can go to Europe. I can go to Africa. I can go. Yes, broaden your mind. There's more bigger things out there. And then maybe, just maybe, if you have the courage to do that, you find your true success in that area.
And who knows what will happen after that? Because very often we have a certain, I would say, limit of what we can do. I grew up in this small city. I am not the type of guy to go into a big city, or I'm not the type of person to do this, and this, and this. Who decided that? When did you decide that? Why do you think that this is still the case for you? So it's like you exploring like one piece of it, your subconscious mind ask itself like, wait a minute, if I can do this, maybe what about this other part? So it's like as somebody is speaking very quietly into your ear, and you start to listen, like, but maybe why not me? Why shouldn't I be able to do this?
Yes. Oh, I love that. I love when you said, well, who told you? I love you. That was a good question. Who told you that you have to stay here? Who told you that you have to do this, this cookie cutter thing that maybe the world, or your life, or like you said, told you had to do? But you got to go to school and you got to get a degree and you got to get some jobs and you got to make money and you have to retire and you have to have money to. Who told you that you can just explore the world? Let's just say I'm just going to go for 3 years and just, get out. Yeah. And then that's awesome. So that does take a lot of courage. I mean, a lot of people, because that's the norm. It seems like that's the norm. Is like, you got to do this, this, and this. But then I like how you asked the question, well, wait a minute.
And then, but when you ask yourself and you look for answers, like, I don't know, like, wait a minute, like, I'm not sure. Like, oh, so you're not sure. And how you have like explained, like, the work that we do, or how I explain coaching, is like having another person, like two people looking at one mind. So it's like two people looking and helping pinpointing what is coming out of our mind. So questioning our own thoughts, questioning our ideas, questioning our identity. It just helps us understand like who we are, where we are coming from, what are the reasons that we want to do something, and making a conscious decision. I want to do this, or I don't want to do this, and here's why. Like knowing it, but really knowing it, and not just like, no, I've never been to the US. I'm not a kind of person that I would go. I might be afraid of traveling. Okay, so let's address it. Let's see where that is coming from.
Yes.
And don't let that, do you want that this, to stop you from seeing a different continent?
Yeah.
So, no.
Yeah. And I like how you said you got to dig deep. Where is this coming from? Sometimes you ask yourself, well, where is this coming from? Where you're always pushing back. But then sometimes I'm like how you said, sometimes it might be a no. And you stick to your no because it's just a boundary that you have. And it might be a good boundary. It might not be something that you're scared of or fearful. It's just, no, I just don't like that. Just, I don't. I tried it. It's like, nah, no, that's not for me. So, wow, this has been amazing, King. I'm just loving the conversation. And I know LaWanna, she happened to read because she's been having conversation with us. Fear of the unknown often cripples individual from moving forward. It's important to expand beyond our current lives experience. Yes. So true. So what I want to do, King, is I'm going to take myself down for like 30 seconds. And I just want you, any lasting thoughts that you want to give the audience, and then we'll come back and then they'll understand how they can contact you if they want to work with you. So I'll be right back.
Okay. So my message to you is, whatever is stopping you, whatever is worrying you, or whatever you are desiring, ask yourself, how can courage help me with this? Maybe it's a courage to look within ourselves, to where do we need to support ourselves, maybe to look at something, to look our own things that are stopping us, or look for the things that we actually want, but we are afraid of voicing them out. Not only to our loved ones, but to ourselves. How can courage help me within that?
Amazing. Thank you so much. See, I told you these royalty. Always now you can look in the mirror every time, Igor, look in the mirror and say, well, you know what? Barbara said I was king. Yes. Yeah. Now, some people be like, who's Barbara? That no, they don't have to worry about that part. We just say you're royalty and you're king. But you are, like I said, once people come on the Coaches Lounge, I always welcome them back to me, your family. If there's anything else you want to share or come, or just, anything that's going on in your world, because I know you travel, you're in Germany now, right? You said?
Yes. Recently, I was in Nashville. I work-wise, I do travel a lot in Europe or to the US. So I personally, I like humans and I like networking, whether it is online or face to face. I like events. I like meeting people. So I'm a person that just it gives me always a different perspective of myself. It's like, oh, or seeing other people doing something like, I get inspired
Yes.
by seeing that, not from a thing like, oh, I want that too, why isn't it possible for me? But wait a minute, like hearing somebody else's story and just on a human level how that impacts me, it's always humbling me and is opening me. Like, possibilities are so so big for each one of us.
Yes.
Don't ever tell yourself that there isn't a chance to move forward in whatever direction, in whatever situation your life is. It can always change because your future doesn't determine your past doesn't determine your future. But often what we do, we make decisions from past and think like, oh, because I haven't done this before, in my future I will be not able to do this. But why would we do this to ourselves?
Yes, don't stop you. Don't let your past stop you from. Ooh, that's good. Don't let your past stop you from your future. Ooh, see, I'm telling you, these go. I hope you having this somewhere, like different quotes and stuff that you're putting out there. This is amazing. I mean, people will learn so much. But how can they, King? How can they contact you if they want to work with you?
Okay, people can contact me, through my name on Facebook and Instagram. This is, my name. This is where I hang out. This is where I share, what is in my head, what's going on, what are the things that I'm working on. Sometimes there are certain workshops. I work mainly one-to-one with people. I have different sort of packages depending on the person. I always say, if people resonate with the energy, with the type of person that somebody is, reach out to that person. If it's me or if it's Barbara, that you have questions, bring them to that conversation, open up. We can help you, and from that, make a better informed decision where you want to go. If at the end you want to work with us, it's fine, but make that decision. I say the conversation is there to help you think further, because we all have thought things through, and then we're just sort of standing somewhere and not going. It's like, wait a minute, help another person see it, like, this is what I would like to do, this is what I'm seeing is happening for you, this is how I see this can be resolved, is this how you want to move forward? And that's it.
Yes. So, okay, there's no excuse, everybody. He told you how you can, the King told you how you can contact him. And if you're saying, well, I still can't find this King, reach out to me and I can reach out to him because I have his information. So there's no excuse, no excuses here on the Coaches Lounge. With that said, this has been just phenomenal. Thank you so much again for taking your time out to come on the show. Like I said, you're always welcome back. And if anybody else is interested in coming on the Coaches Lounge with myself to discuss what you do as a coach, educator, and consultant, because I add them all in there, please just reach out to me and we'll have that conversation and bring you on the show so people can see, as I always say, coaches are lighthouses to the world because they help other people shine their light in their life. So we'll see you next Friday. Thanks again, King. You take care.
Thank you so much.
Hello. And I just have to say that, oh my God, such an amazing interview with King Igor. I mean, see, I told you I bring royalty on this show. You have to come every Friday. So before we kind of close out for today, First, I want to invite everybody, if you want to be on the Coaches Lounge with myself to talk about your experiences, to talk about how you help shine lights in people's world, because that's what you do. Every coach out there is listening to me right now. Every person that's helping somebody, everybody that's mentoring somebody, you are very important to that person's life. I mean, I have 2 coaches. Oprah Winfrey has coaches. Come on now. Listen, when you really get deep, there's celebrities out there. Everybody needs somebody to help them, to give a different eye, to give them encouragement, like the king said, to make sure that you're always thinking ahead, to not let, which I'm going to just take something from him because it was amazing what he said. Don't let your past dictate your future. You know, we all have our stories. What he said, the earthquakes in life, the hurricanes, as I could tell people, things that are always going to be there in your mind, but you have to make those choices every time it comes in your head, in front of your mind, and say, Bobby, you can't do that. Remember, you were bullied. People say you weren't nobody. Okay, that was back when I was 7. Get out my head. No, I'm going to move forward. I have confidence. I have been speaking. I believe in myself. That's what we were talking about. You have to do that first. You have to have the courage to do that. So you can't let all those stories dictate to you what you're going to be moving forward. Because, you know, when I tell people, when you let those stories, and I'm just saying, people like, oh, you have bad horror stories. I don't want to think about those stories in my life, Barbara. But you know what? There's a learning. You learn from them. Don't just put them in the side and say, you know, they never happened. Because I'll always own all my stories. And in fact, I'll tell my stories all the time to people because I want them to know, first of all, yeah, I went through. I was in the same boat with you. So don't feel like you're alone. That's one thing that I would say. A second, I've learned from that bridge, from that story, to move forward to the next level in my life. So there was a teachable moment there. And then third, you can shine light on things to flip your whole understanding, to flip. You know, I always tell people, you know, bullying wasn't, you know, it wasn't like my pastime game in my life. Believe me, I wish I could have avoided it, but it happened. It happened. But it taught me how to gain strength. It taught me how to be persistent. It taught me how to really hone into who I am, really think about things. And it taught me how to trust others that was coming in my life, that I call little angels in my life, to come in and say, no, Barbara, don't listen to that. You are important. You just a diamond in the rough. And that's what they used to tell me. My father used to tell me that, and the teacher used to tell me that. So you see, even though all that other stuff was going on, there was that light, like they always say, that's the old saying, at the end of the tunnel, but it's true. If you find people that's going to come in your life, and then you grow from that and you learn from that, and then you say to yourself, that can be everybody. Other people have that same story in their life. There's a lot of us been bullied, but we need to know how to work that through so we don't let that dictate to us or take us down or not let us move to that next level that we need to move. Because I always say, and I hate to say this word, but it's kind of true because it can get to that point in your life. It could be shackles in your life. It can shackle you down and there's no movement because of everything that happened to you. And you know, that is very sad to me because it stops you from your gifts, those gifts that you have in you, those shackled down. Nobody won't see it because you're so busy worried about what you went through. And then on top of that, your gifts could help somebody else. King Igor, he has gifts. He's blossomed. He's helping other people. How about if he went a different direction? How about if he just said, you know what? I went through a lot, you know, in my country, you know, I don't really feel like doing the whole just going out and seeing different things in life. Plus me, you know, I don't even believe in myself. He could have did all that. And then we would have missed out. We would have missed out on the gifts that he has, that he's giving other clients and other people in the world. What is your gift that you might be shackling down? You don't want that to happen. You don't want to leave this earth without your gift being bloomed. So not just yourself, you can be who you are and have courage to do it, like you said, but also help somebody else to get to their life and their next level and show them that there's hope. Again, there's light at the end of the tunnel, right? So with that said, I just want to thank each and every person that was watching today at the Coaches Lounge. We come on every Friday, 9 o'clock Central Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. I always got to double check in my head because time zones, right? I always tell everybody, I had the two main ones. Everybody figure out the other ones. I'll be screwing everybody else. So I just say, just look at your phone, look at the time zone. We start 9 o'clock Central Time. But it also, if you want to be on the show, if you are a coach, consultant, everything, please reach out to me. I'll be glad we can get you on the calendar and get you going so people can understand spotlighting, like I said, experts' advice for life and business, because it's so important to move that needle in your life, because there's people waiting for you. There's people are waiting for you. And as I always say, you, me, King Igor, everybody out there, you are a lighthouse to the world because you are helping others become their light to the world. With that said, we will see you next week.